In our modern world, there is an abundance of things that we can spend our money on. And sometimes it can be confusing which one of those infinite things actually serves us the most. And of course, everything we buy serves us in some kind of way. But unless you are already a billionaire, the money you currently have to spend on things is limited, or at least it should be. So let's take a look at 4.5 things where you can spend your money on wisely. Number 1, your health. Health is an important value for most of us, if not all of us. I don't know about you, but I appreciated it even more after I have been sick. And our health also affects other areas in our life. For example, it can put a strain on our finances. If we are ill and cannot go to work, then we do not get paid. And also, if we're ill, we might not be able to take care of our family or going out with friends or doing things we enjoy. So the first thing I recommend here is to be prepared in case you get sick. And that above all means to have health insurance. So health insurance is definitely not something to save money on, at least in my opinion. Of course, I might have a special perspective on this because I am a doctor and I see all kinds of different things happening to people. And an exercise I sometimes do, maybe not imagining myself to being sick, but to just put myself in someone else's shoes and ask myself, what would I want in this situation? For example, if someone else gets sick and he or she cannot return to work for, let's say, half a year. And in this situation, if I had chosen, for example, to pay less for health insurance, but now these 6 months are not covered and I'm actually on top of my health problems also have financial problems, would I really want that? And in this matter, I decided for myself that I rather pay more now, but then be really covered if anything happens. The same goes, for example, for an accident. Accidents don't happen very often, but still, in case they do, it's nice to just know that everything is covered in that kind of situation. And the second thing is to invest in your health and maintaining it. And the 3 main components of maintaining your health are diet, exercise, and sleep. So in your diet, for example, if you are at lunch and you have a healthier choice that costs a little more, but is better for your body, I would prefer this one over the junk food anytime. And another personal example, I love chocolate and I want to watch out a little to not, eat too much of it. So even though the bigger package of chocolate most of the time is less expensive than a single one, I still choose the smaller package because then I know, okay, I will only eat this one chocolate bar and not 5 of them. Then exercise. Exercise is really important to maintain your health. Now, there obviously are ways to do a workout without any fancy equipment and without spending too much money. But if you are the kind of person that needs the accountability or the obligation to have a gym membership, because then in your head it's okay, I paid for this thing, now I'm going, then absolutely do it. Because in this particular case, it's obviously more important to maintain your health by exercising instead of saving a couple of bucks every month, and also has a higher return in the future. And then there is sleep. Sleep is very important for your health. It's the time when the body restores itself and heals itself, and you might as well invest some money here to get a good night's sleep. For example, on your mattress or on your sheets or in your bedroom. Most of the time they are one-time expenses and they're absolutely worth it. Number 2 to spending money wisely is into your education. Now, education is directly tied to our financial situation and most of the time also to our health. And I would distinguish education into education in institutions. This is high school and going to college, and education outside those institutions. Now, in almost every country, the higher the education, the higher is the income and also the net worth. And yes, I know there are stories of people dropping out of high school or dropping out of college and then becoming ridiculously successful. First of all, I think the people that you hear about that did this kind of stuff, they still educated themselves, but then they did it outside of institutions. Second, you have to be a little bit careful because what's working here is the survivorship bias. Survivorship bias means that you only hear the stories of the people that actually became successful. And by successful in this case, I mean rich, or at least doing something extraordinary that served the society in some kind of way. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the news. But the majority of people that drop out of high school or drop out of college, they end up earning less and having less than they could have with a degree. They actually don't become successful in that explained way, because statistically, the lower your educational status, the lower your income, and also the harder it is to save up a lot of money. Now, how do you actually educate yourself? You can do it in institutions, like getting that high school degree, getting that college degree. You don't even have to go to college full time. There are programs that you can do like parallel to work on the evenings and on the weekends. Depending on the line of work you are doing, there also might be some other kind of certificates that you can do in your area of work. Maybe go look for some special trainings. Maybe even ask your employer if there are some certificates that you can do that can make you then earn more. You can also specialize in one thing, because being specialized and being good at one thing often makes you valuable for your company or also for other companies. So this was the institutionalized kind of education. You can also do it outside of institutions, and that is by reading books, by doing courses, and by doing coachings. And in a lot of cases you don't even have to pay money. You can go to the library and read the books there, and also you can find tons and tons of information and courses and beginners tutorials on the internet. For example, here on YouTube. The possibilities are sheer endless, and I really think that the internet, by providing a lot of information for free, has democratized knowledge, because the access is so easy and you don't have to spend a lot of money. But of course you also can spend a lot of money on courses, but you don't need to. That brings us to number more like 2.5, because it's the education of your children. So if you have children, invest in their education as well. And I got this from one of my favorite investors and also finance experts and authors, Andre Costolani, who said something like, paying for your children's education is one of the best investments you can do with your money. It's never a waste. Number 3 is giving money to charity. Donating money serves in two ways. It serves the world and it also serves you. It serves the world because a charity is there to make the world a little bit better, and it also serves you because it gives you a good feeling of yourself, because you are contributing to making the place a little bit better. It also shows yourself, like subconscious, that you actually have something to give, and that creates an abundance mindset. If you, like me, want to accumulate wealth in your life, there are really two dangers. I learned this from Bodo Schäfer, who is a money coach here in Europe, and he says the two dangers on the path to wealth are stinginess and greed. And you can avoid those two by donating a part of your salary to charity. A rule of thumb number is 10%. I think a lot of rich people spend 10% of their income to charity, but of course any other amount is also okay. For example, when I was a student, I donated €5 every month to charity. Still better than nothing. And also, it's totally up to you to which kind of charity you want to donate to. If you want it as effective as possible, there's actually a kind of a social movement that's called effective altruism. They are like trying to find out which are the most pressuring problems in our world right now, and therefore how you can make the most of your donated money. I'll link their website down below in the video description so you can check them out if you want. And number 4 is to spend money on your experiences. Now, what makes us happy and also keeps us healthy, surprisingly, is actually the quality of our relationships and what we experience with our loved ones. And there is a great TED Talk about a study that has been done. I'll also link it down in the video description. So time spent with friends and family is never wasted time. You know, if it's in a happy, enjoying time together kind of way. Obviously not if you're fighting all the time. I think the difficulty with spending money on experiences is that there are two extremes. One is to do nothing at all in order to save the money, and the other one is to do very expensive trips and going out every day or every weekend and spending the money like it never ends. And it's not always easy to find a good balance there. So should you spend a fortune on experiences? Only if it's within your means. The way I do it is I have a separate account for those things. So a certain percentage of my salary goes to this fun account, and then if I spend money on certain things, I don't have to worry. Another wise way to do with your money is to actually save it and invest it. I did not put this one on the list here because, this video is about spending money, but to save money and to invest it means to actually keep it and let it work for you. So if you haven't started saving money yet, but you want to, here's the way to do it. If you have already saved up some money and you want to invest it, I'll link my beginner's guide to investing here. I hope you got something helpful out of this video. Have a great day, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.